Hi, how are you guys doing today? I hope everybody is well. When you see this video, I don't know when you're actually going to see this video, so I'm not sure how the current times is going to affect you when you see this video, but this video is going to be about about Mother's Day. Now, we are now in the month of June, but the other day it was Haitian Mother's Day, and then we had Mother's Day here in North America. There's different Mother's Days dates, right, throughout the world, like the different islands and on the continent of Africa, and something that has been on my heart so heavily. Especially after I end up seeing it may have been like an old Sunday best or one of those kind of discussions, and they were talking about like what is the most like challenging task that you think is out there. And one of the women that were speaking, she was just like, definitely motherhood. Without any question, it's definitely motherhood. And it made me think about my own birth stories. And I'm just like, man, she hit it on the head. I don't think she has any children that we know of. But she is more than likely like a godmother to many children, and has friends and things like that. And even though I'm still a fairly young woman, I have retired the thought of having more children because it is just such a full-time task, right? Side note, that's why you really have to take your time and choose the individual correctly that you're going to have children with. Think all the way around. Like, could we properly co-parent together, whether we're in a marriage or not in a marriage? There you go. People don't realize that co-parenting is not just for single individuals. It's also for married people. I know tons of married people, and the jobs that these women are doing, we're not even talking about the regular job that they have. They go to a job, they're cooking, it's like they're doing everything by themselves. All in the sake of a marriage. That is so unhealthy, but whatever. If you can handle it and your back can handle it, good for you. So take your time and, think about what are the fundamentals, what are the most important aspects for you when you're choosing an actual mate, right? Just because the sex is good, that doesn't mean that they're going to be a good father, right? I don't know why people like mix those two up. And I think they either unknowingly or ignorantly mix those two up. That is just so bad. If you're with somebody and the sex is great, you've enjoyed it for 2 years, that doesn't necessarily mean you should go and make children with them. But anyway, I won't digress anymore. But this thing about how mothering is just such a serious job. It's a tough job. It's a hard job. All of the movers and shakers in this world, the high performing individuals, the sports players, the everybody that's notable, they all have a story to tell about their mother and how their mother imparted to them, where she gave of herself and taught them things, taught them skills, taught them, characteristics that are healthy or they shouldn't have, or, whatever the case may be. And every day is Mother's Day. You gotta take your time and choose that partner because you do not want anything to get in the way of being able to properly mother your children. You don't want anything to get in the way of it. When I think back on my birth story, it is every day women are being sacrificed for having children. right? For bringing life into the world, there is a love, there is something of us that is sacrificed or it dies, or sometimes in rare occasions is unfortunate, is death in delivery, maternal death. That's a terrible thing. I'm always surprised when that happens all the time, when that happens regularly, when you hear too many stories of it here in North America. Like, we're supposed to have like the best medical, the best hospitals, but you got to do your research, ladies, okay? There's a video about that here on my channel. But every day is Mother's Day, and if your mother is still alive, appreciate her. If there is, if you and your mother are estranged, you want to. You may not need to necessarily unpack everything, because if you think about somebody's background, it'll help you to understand why they may have done things the way they've done it. But make peace with your mom, please. Like, mothers are not sperm donors. They are not somebody that is coming fully with their own selfish intention at the time of a conception. Now, that's not to say that, great fathers aren't in 100% and going with their wives to get their IVF treatment, or, it's a team effort. But I'm saying that when a woman takes on the sacrifice of having children, I know Western culture does not praise it enough. It really does need to be. It needs to be appreciated. I'm West Indian, and I know that, like in reggae music, there's quite a few poignant reggae songs that everybody loves, and they're about like honoring that mom, right? Honoring that mother figure, honoring that person that took on the responsibility of having you. It's such a charge. Let me see. In West African culture, there is a song. I believe it's a high life song. It's a high life genre of West African music, and it's called Sweet Mother. I remember the time that I heard the song, but listened to all of the words. By this point, I was already a mother. It brought tears to my eyes because I had already had my own experiences, right? And it really is a place of sacrifice. When I was having my oldest child, I just remember like, oh my God, this is the hardest thing I'm doing. This is so tough. He's taking his time to come out. Oh my God, but I might die. And the thought that crossed my mind, I will never forget, is if I die, I die, but he has to come out alive. So in that very moment, right, you're not thinking about this stuff while you're like, la, 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 I'm pregnant, and you're taking your cute maternity shots and things like that. You're not thinking that it's going to get to that place like, wait a minute, I'm either going to have to be cut open for this baby to come out, okay? Or I'm just gonna go through such a season of my life, right? Because it's like, even if it's only an hour, or some women, it goes on for days. It's like you don't really know what the ending of your birth story is gonna be, right? You don't know. You have to leave that to faith. You gotta have faith in the fact that, your body can handle it and you can do it, and women have been doing it for centuries, right? And that you're made for it. But we also have to pay attention to the fact that when we mate with somebody else, right? When we have a baby with someone else, that person may not necessarily be the physical specs of the person that would allow our human mammal body to have a baby, and to just to pass through delivery without any hitches, right? Sometimes we're small women, we're petite in size, and we are married or having relationships with somebody that has like huge, giant, tall, giants in their family, even if they themselves are not a giant, right? So it's like that is what really creates that like level of like, ooh, I'm not sure, right? But for the most part, it's something that we just really all can make it through. But when you are in it, when you are in the throes of labor, when you are in the, you're starting to feel the pre-labor, when you are in the throes of, your labor being induced, when you were in the throes of actual delivery, when you were on the table and you know that, okay, I can no longer feel the bottom half of my body, or I can't feel from my neck down, or I can't feel from my shoulders down, or whatever it is, you know, man, this is a big charge that I'm going in. And you have to, in that moment, you may not remember now because you're watching this video, but you say these things to encourage others, you know, for them to always be thankful, for them to always be grateful to the mother figures that are in their life, and the physical mothers that are in their life. It's like, even if, you know, they may not be to the standard we may want them to be, they understood the importance of what they were doing when they were doing it, right? And for that reason, we must respect them. Right? We must respect them. We must, oblige them in some, most of the rest in the requests that they make of us. You must honor them. It could be a strange woman, you've never seen her before, and she's, you passing her. Be respectful. Be respectful. Be respectful. It's probably part of the things that the women's lib movement was birthed out of. But my own personal opinion doesn't matter with that. But when it comes to women and us respecting women and honoring women as often as you possibly can, you got to do it, guys. You got to do it. One of my tips that I always advise women, young women that I mentor, is for them to get grown women friends. Grown women friends are important because women get to where they get to by having experience, and they can then in turn teach others. And if you're a young woman and you're seeing this video, which I'm hoping you are, because I do mentoring for young women, but that's why you need to have respect for them. That's why you need to have respect for them. I myself have not gone through menopause yet at the time that I'm making this video, but I know many women that have, and that is a place where women go and they re-examine themselves, right? What have I done with all of my fertile years? While my chemical balance was totally different, what did I do with it? So while you have the resources and ability to, make sure that you take the time, think about what this video is saying, pass it on to others that can definitely use it. Give it as a word of caution. Advise younger people, especially young men that are, don't have proper guidance and things like that. Definitely advise them. I know when I'm in public and I see like little boys and they're like helping their mama and stuff like that, I compliment them always, right? Because I know what it's like when they start realizing, like, wait a minute, this woman makes sure that I need everything. Mama, look, let me help you. That's a great man in the making. You know what I mean? I always thank my sons when they help me. And sometimes they give me pieces of advice. I take it in. And you know what? It's such a great relationship. It's a bond that cannot be broken. There's a saying back home in my country, because we are not, we come from a society, many West Indian women, where we breastfeed our children, and it's actually taboo to not breastfeed your child, right? There are rare occasions where women are not able to breastfeed their children, but if you can, do it. Don't let your breast sit there and get filled with milk and pain you and things like that, and you're choosing, you don't have a job to go to. You breastfeed that child, right? Because what happens is, the older people would say that a child that's not breastfed is somebody that will beat their mother, right? Now, that could mean physically, right? But that could also mean somebody who's not on the same page with the well-being of their mom, right? So, us as women, yes, we need to take our turns to make sure that we're nurturing our children. But those of us who have mothers, make sure that we are We are honoring those moms and those mother figures, and those grandmothers in our lives, because their job is just important. It's tired. They do it whether they're tired or not tired, right? They get less sleep in the night, whether they wanted to or not wanted to. They nursed you through health, right? Many children die in childhood, and you made it to being an adult. Who do we say? We say thank you to our mothers, right? All right, so I hope this video was encouraging. I wanted to be encouraging, and then also to remind you that if you do need any personal coaching to work through any kind of like interpersonal relationships, or growing pains, mentorship, personal spirituality on where it is that you want to take yourself. I'm not a religious person, guys. Okay, let me put that there. But I know and continue to educate myself enough about what is in society when it comes to religion, so I understand and I respect all of them. But in the end, it's really for you. It's really about like healing and self-help and self-preservation and renewal. All right, so if you need any of that coaching or anything like that, you can find my link in the body of this video. And have a blessed one. This is Shamrondi from Life Design Topics. Stay blessed. Oh, and excuse my little bathing suit situation. I'm trying to get to the beach today. The beaches are open.